Hey party people, this video is going to be all about how to plan a photo shoot from a fashion designer's perspective. I had just posted my fashion industry Q&A and a lot of you had expressed interest in knowing more about this subject. And I'm still in Israel, but I thought I could just, knock this one out pretty easy. So here I am in my hotel room. My suitcase is back there. All right, so the first thing you have to think about is what are these images going to be used for? Are you doing really cool, conceptual, splashy images to put on the homepage of your website? Are you doing super clean product shots for a lookbook or for your online store? What are you doing? Okay, and that's going to be the guiding principle for the creative part, how everything is going to look, what kind of models you're going to hire, how you're going to style everything, how you're going to light everything. Okay. The second thing is your budget. Okay. How much money do you have to spend? You might be thinking, Zoe, I don't have any money. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so think about your budget and think about your deadline. Your project isn't over when the shoot is over. Your project is over when you've gone through all the raw images, you've selected the ones that you want to use, you have gotten them retouched, and you've gone through them, you've approved the retouching, and you sent them off to the printer or your web designer, and everything's been uploaded or printed. Okay, so when you're thinking about your deadline, when you're going to market, when you want to send your stuff out, pad all those things into your timeline. After you have figured those three things out, you're going to need to hire people and align your schedules and get everyone on a specific shoot day. And you're going to need a photographer, obviously. You're going to need models. You're going to need makeup. You're going to need hair. And you're going to need a wardrobe stylist. And interns. Interns are the best. So what are some of the things you need? The first thing you're going to need, the most important thing, is you're going to need a shoot list. Right? You need a plan for the day, and you need to write that out. You can't just go in there and kind of be like, yeah, I got my clothes, I got my model, we're just going to do some stuff. And yeah, you could do that, but the more you organize and plan in advance, the higher the chances the day is going to run smoothly. And let me tell you something. Nothing sucks energy like waiting. Okay. And the more you make your crew wait in between shots, because you're picking out outfits and you're assembling things and you're trying to decide what to do next and what to do after that, and, figuring out your props and your furniture. Like, the more you make your crew wait, they're just going to sit around and get tired. Their energy is going to lag. But if you're like, I know what I want, I've set up these outfits. Okay, this shot, I want this chair. And for the second shot, I want this outfit, and I want this chair, and I want this stool. Like, you're just like going. You're keeping the energy up. Everyone's moving, okay? Everything is running smoothly and quickly. The more organized you are, that's the kind of shoot you want, okay? None of this hemming and hawing and... Some of the things that you need to think about for your shoot list. Number one, create your outfits in advance. Even if not everything that you shoot is something you're going to sell. I used to work in outerwear, and, we only did jackets and coats, but you can't shoot your models naked wearing a jacket, okay? It doesn't work that way. So we would go and buy very generic looking clothes to be worn under the jackets and coats. But we would prep by putting those outfits together. Like, oh, this is a very cognac, buttery leather. And so we're going to pair it with these charcoal slacks. We're going to pair it with these shoes, this kind of belt, all this stuff. And so we had our outfits prepped in advance. And so, the model was free. You put them in the new outfit, ready to go. And you can work things out with your stylist in advance if you like. You want to figure out your shoot order. Some of the things that you want to think about in your shoot order are maybe one, daylight might be a factor. Maybe you have different makeup looks. So maybe you start with the very light day makeup, and then maybe you want to shoot some cocktail dresses. towards the end of the day. So all you have to do is just intensify the eye makeup instead of starting over from scratch because you started with intense makeup and then you had to take a bunch off. If I wiggle room, I'll try to do more difficult shots in the beginning when people have the most energy, and leave the really simple straightforward shots to the end, like when I'm shooting giant crazy ball gowns that require a lot of like maneuvering and arranging and stuff. Like, we'll do that first. All these things need to be on your shot list. What outfits, what props you're going to need for each shot, the makeup and hair look for each shot, and so that you can arrange the shot order and make sure everyone has this information so everyone's on the same page, everyone knows what's going on. All right. When you're putting together your shoot list, the goal is to have as little dead time as possible. Yeah, you're always going to have some dead time, some setup time, but as little dead time as possible. Number 2, think about your set and your lighting. So you need to talk this out with your photographer way in advance, okay? And the best thing is to send images to your photographer on things that you like. Okay, you might not find exactly what you need, but let's say you like daylight shots and you like a certain kind of lighting in one, and you like kind of the graphic perspective on another, and you're like, I want to merge these two together or something. Pictures worth 1,000 words, that kind of thing. Okay, so it helps to share all these ideas with your photographer. Figure out if this is something that they can do. A lot of you are going to want a seamless backdrop for product shots. A seamless backdrop is when you can't tell where the wall ends and the floor begins. When you go to fancy spaces like YouTube Space and they have their sets like that, they have a curved wall. You can copy that look by hanging a roll of paper. A lot of photographers, they have vinyl that they have on a roll from the ceiling, and you pour it down so it just like has like a curved down, and it creates a seamless look. Ask if your photographer has that set up if you want it. Okay. Props, furniture, lighting. Okay, you need to talk about all those things. Next, you're going to need food and drink the day of. You should have something to drink for everyone, no matter how short your shoot is. If your shoot is more than 4 hours and you don't provide some kind of food for your crew, then you're a jerk. And you're going to be a jerk with a hangry crew. And that's going to be so fun for everyone. I like to provide some kind of dressing room for my models. And, if you're at a photographer studio, they probably have something, a bathroom. But I like to have a folding rack, those collapsible ones. You can get them at Target for like $50. And I just take a big sheet of muslin or similar cheap fabric, and I just hang it on the top of the rack, and just, a little makeshift corner so that models can have some privacy when they're getting dressed. Speaking of models, if you're hiring someone from an agency, make sure that you are filling out and signing all the appropriate paperwork. Okay, ask your model. For hair and makeup crew, again, if you're indoors at a set, they probably have everything they need. But if you're going to be on location, think about if they're going to need electricity for blow dryers, or if they're going to need running water or anything like that. Do they need a table, a chair for the model? Okay, so think about these things in advance so your day can run more smoothly. So next, you're going to need a stylist. And stylists, what do? They style. They make sure the clothes look great. Okay, so you design the clothes, you put them on the model, and they will do things like, button it perfectly, set the collar perfectly, make sure everything is laying smoothly and everything is wrinkle-free and magical, and, all the accessories and everything go together. Stylists usually have their own kits. Check with them, make sure they're going to bring one. If they're not, or if you're going to be your own stylist, make sure you have some of the following. Number 1, a lint roller. Number 2, a steamer so you could steam the wrinkles out of your clothes. Safety pins of various sizes and clothespins in case you need to just kind of like pin things back. Chances are your photo model is not going to be the same as your fit model. And so, you just want to smooth things out and make sure that things look like they fit, as if they were made to order, right? And you're probably going to want an emergency sewing kit. You're going to want Hollywood tape, which is basically double-sided tape that's friendly for skin. If you have something drapey, you want to make sure it's like laying and, hitting perfectly even though the model is moving. You want some of that double-sided tape. And nipple patches if you want to go braless, but you don't want the nipple action showing. Shoes, okay? You're going to need shoes. And if you want to return your shoes after the shoot, you have to take some precautions. You have to make sure that you've got socks or hose or, those little socks that just cover the toes or something to protect the inside of the shoes. And you want to tape the bottom, the soles of your shoes. And it escapes me, the tape, but you want something that will peel up. Don't use duct tape. Use like painter's tape. Okay, so you can tape the bottom. Okay, stylists usually do this. They tape the bottom, and then you have a pair of scissors, and you just trim all the excess tape off, and then you peel all that tape up before you return the shoes to the store. And yeah, you should probably do that the day before the shoot, so people aren't sitting around waiting for you to tape up shoes. Sometimes special undergarments, depending on your clothes, and body wipes. I've had some models who will not be named who, sometimes forget to shower before a shoot. So a day or two before the shoot or show, I will typically send off an email to the model saying, I want you showered, I want your hair washed, and I want X body hair removed. Like if I want male models to shave their stubble, or, I'll tell specific models, no, I would like you to keep your stubble, or those kinds of things. And, sometimes models will show up and they haven't showered, and it happens. You just got to roll with it and pack some body wipes and discreetly just give them some. And otherwise your samples will smell. Okay, been there, done that, not fun. I also tell models, please don't wear heavy lotions or creams or fragrances, because again, that can also mess up your samples. So send that email in advance. Some ways to save money for your photo shoot. 1, you can double duty jobs. Maybe you hire hair and makeup, one person instead of a couple of people. I know some models who do their own makeup. Maybe you can book hair and makeup for a couple of hours, and then you do the touch-ups yourself throughout the course of the day instead of making them stick out for the entire shoot if you're not changing the hair and makeup looks throughout the day. And if you do that, make sure you have your own stuff. Hair and makeup people, they're not going to leave their toolkits behind. So make sure you have powder that matches your model's skin and a comb and things like that. You could do the styling yourself. A really good stylist, they will hover by the model and photographer and make sure that every time the model moves, the fold of the garment is laying just right for it to be beautiful. Okay, I've worked with amazing stylists. I've worked with lazy stylists. Okay, good stylists, they will come and if they're wearing a gown with a fishtail hem and the model, of course, the model's going to move, right? They will, in a heartbeat, be on the floor, fanning out the train perfectly so that shot is beautiful. Okay. And if they see a bit of shine on the model's face, they'll call the makeup person over. They work the whole shoot. Okay. And yeah, when you're hiring a stylist, make sure that everyone's expectations are on the same page. And if you're going to be your own stylist, make sure that you're going to be that person who's working the whole shoot like that. You can work for trade. You can offer, I've worked with photographers where, they'll shoot my lookbook, but they won't do the retouching because that's a lot of work. And then I'll hire a retoucher who's cheaper than someone who does photography and retouching. Or I'll work with someone and they'll do the shoot for free. And in exchange, they borrow clothes of mine anytime they want. If they're doing some more fun, their own shoots and they need wardrobe, they can email me and be like, yo, can I borrow that one thing? And, stuff like that. You can pay in clothes. I've paid in clothes too. I've paid part in clothes, part in money, that kind of thing. don't get depressed or angry if you don't have the money for an elaborate setup, because for us, for fashion designers, we want our clothes to shine. Our clothes, our designs should be front and center. You know, simple is great. It's not like you're settling for simple. Simple is awesome. Think about all those runway shows you've seen where it's just, you know, simple makeup and hair, the outfit, the runway is just white and it's clean lighting. Okay? Does anyone think, oh, they're so amateur because they don't have an elaborate setup? It's like, no, then you pay attention to the clothes. Okay? Same thing with lookbooks. Like, you look at some of the best online stores and it's simple, you know, it's really about the clothes. So don't, I advise against anything that would distract or detract from people looking at your clothes. One last thing, I have an interview with a fashion photographer named Sam Breach in my Interviews with Industry Professionals playlist. Go check that out for a bit of info on what it's like to prep and produce a photo shoot from a photographer's perspective. Yeah, I think that's it. Organize yourself so that you have a smooth shoot day. And I'm heading home at the end of this week. I know that with getting over my eye infection, still a tiny bit red. Not too much anymore though. Getting over my eye infection and the traveling. I've had this trip planned for a year and the family time has been awesome, but I'm ready to head back to the studio and do some serious tutorials. We've been doing a lot of these like chatty, you know, things, but I'm ready to bust out some drawing and painting tutorials. I know it's been a while. We're going to get back on that. Yeah, I cannot wait to wear eye makeup again. I'm going to celebrate by shooting a video with like totally smoky eye makeup. It's going to be awesome. Give me a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Share with your friends who are planning photo shoots, or maybe you share this video with your crew so that you guys know what's up. All right. And yeah, share, subscribe, thumbs up. What am I forgetting? I don't know. I will see you in the next video.